President Biden is giving a shout out to America's youngest voters who may be playing crucial roles in deciding several close races around the country.
CBS 8's Richard Allen has more on the issues that drove them to the polls and the impact these young millennial and Gen Z voters are having.
Well, that's right. Exit polls show that voters under 30 made a huge impact this midterm. Some political analysts pointing to their participation at the polls as one of the main reasons that the so-called red wave by Republicans did not materialize. 20-something Veronica Tello recently became a U.S. citizen. She says it was critical to exercise her right to vote here in her new country the first chance she got.
Because I want to be heard.
And those voters 18 to 29 years old were heard from coast to coast.
And I especially want to thank the young people of this nation.
President Biden today recognizing the near historic turnout of the youth vote.
They voted to continue addressing the climate crisis, gun violence, their personal rights and freedoms, and the student debt relief.
In fact, a new poll released by Tufts University estimates that 27% of Americans under age 30 turned out to vote this midterm, the second highest youth turnout rate for a midterm election in the past 3 decades, just behind the historic 31% turnout in 2018. Here in San Diego, Congresswoman Sarah Jacobs pointed to the threat to abortion rights as a unifying force among younger millennials and older Gen Z voters.
I think it's because we've seen record turnout of young people and of women and of people coming out to say that our bodily autonomy and our rights are not up for grabs.
I think the under 30s are definitely more proactive and just...
25-year-old Claudia Castaneda is studying media arts in City Heights. Along with issues like climate change and a woman's right to choose, other more local issues also drove her to cast a ballot this election. For example, more funding for arts and music in our schools.
And I think, that's something that I benefited from when I was in high school and when I was a student here in San Diego. So I was like, yeah, that's something that's meaningful even to me.
She credits messaging on social media as one of the most influential factors motivating young people to take part in the democratic process.
The time when it matters, I think people were paying attention.
And here in California, 16 and 17-year-olds can actually pre-register to vote so that their voter registration becomes immediately active once they turn 18. For more information, just go to cbs8.com, click on the online version of this story.